brothers are gonna be gunning for you. You swing big, miss big.
I've never been afraid to swing.
What's going on, man? Welcome to the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Nimes YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key. We back with another series review, and this time we are doing Mayans season 3 review. We was pretty much on a hiatus from Mayans, man, because of the pandemic. Mayans pretty much had been gone since 2019. I think it was about a year and some change, bro. Like, it had been a minute. So I had to pretty much trying to somewhat catch up. And pretty much where we left off, they had a big ambush at a club where some Sons were at. Shout out to Sons of Anarchy. This is a spinoff from Sons of Anarchy. And that's one of the reasons I watch this show and enjoy this show. I am a fan of Sons of Anarchy. Shout out Jax Teller. But anyway, man, one thing I really enjoy about this show is that it does not remind you of Sons of Anarchy. Of course, in the violence and some of the things going on, it does remind you of that. But the reasons why you love Sons of Anarchy, not in ways where it's like, oh, this is the rehash of what they did with Sons of Anarchy. This, to me, gives a whole different range of what's going on as far as motorcycle gangs and what's going on with Mexican motorcycle gangs. And this season in particular really just went way beyond anything dealing with Sons of Anarchy, anything. I don't even remember getting them mentioning Sons in this besides what happened in the ambush or whatnot. But you just have a lot of things going on, and like I said, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. It's so much going on, so many characters. Like I'm keeping up with Easy, Angel, and basically what's going on primarily somewhat in the club. And when we when we catch up with the Mayans and what's going on with these guys, pretty much you had Porter, which Porter, man. Porter's coming from the OG villain from Sons of Anarchy that tried to take out the Sons, but he pretty much been on Easy's head, and pretty much when Angel got involved, he was on Easy and Angel's head, and they pretty much had to do a deed for him, and Easy does not have all of that on him no more. Easy is pretty much can be 100% with the club without having any of this shit as far as reporting to Porter or any of that. But the whole thing with Porter is the guy's an asshole. Porter is a goddamn asshole. So he's basically shutting borders down from them transporting the drugs the way they was doing, like going under the tunnels and everything. He's shut shit down. Like it's basically they're just basically scratching and basically clawing for ends meet for as far as what they're doing with the drugs or whatnot. One thing I want to say about this season is that whole border thing was kind of in episodes 1, 2, and 3, I think. But after that shit completely, I wasn't even thinking about that shit no more with everything that was going on. That's why I said it's so much. And I ain't gonna say I feel like they trying to jam so much in here, but it's a dude that shows. I'm telling you, bro. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I need to pay more attention to the season, but I don't know who this nigga is. I still can't even name him now. But it's a villain that shows up. And he pretty much is upset with the Mayans as far as Bishop's crew and whatnot. And he does this whole sabotaging plan. He tries to go to another cartel to get the Miguel's cartel put out. And the whole thing with Miguel and what's going on? Miguel, does he even talk to the motorcycle club anymore? He, to me, had no interactions with them besides when he thought, because his mama did, as far as I remember, she asked Easy and them to kill her or whatnot, and that's what they did. And even with that, it's a whole thing going on where Easy's father is Miguel's dad too, and Angel, Easy, and Miguel are brothers. Like, I'm like, yo, and you almost forget about this because there's so much going on in this season. And you have everything going on with Bishop, of course, who's the head of the Mayans as far as this club goes. He's going through a lot, man. And we get some backstory on him. We get some story on him as far as him coming to find out that he was forced to move down there. Like, he was in a whole nother town or whatnot. And because of the club, he had to move down here. And you have this whole thing going on with a new prodigy, I guess you would call it. What they be calling these forms in the show? It was what Easy and Jax basically started out of, man. Before you get your cuts. But we have this new guy, and he's in there trying to earn his cuts. He's basically the guy that got to clean the motorcycles. He has to bring beers to all the guys. You know who I'm talking about. I can't believe I can't think of his name right now. And I just recently finished watching this season finale. But There's so much going on this season, and Easy has finally met another woman besides Emily. Because you know Emily is with Miguel and have all this shit going on, and he's with somebody he feels that he can let himself finally go with, but Easy is holding on to a lot of things. And we get like this whole flashback with Easy being in prison, him stabbing somebody, him getting jumped. Like Easy, this is what I really also love in the separation from Sons of Anarchy. Because come on, we already know Easy is supposed to be our new Jax Teller. He does have no resemblance of Jax Teller. To me, Easy is a little bit smarter. He also is a lot colder. Like you have to understand, Easy's been in prison. He's went through things, and when we get to him, he's already set. He's already like has the smarts. He already has a brain to function and maneuver and strategize how to do things, which I feel like Jax didn't really get to like maybe season 4. Like maybe 3, he might have got it in the end of 3 and going into 4 year because Jax will maneuver some shit the way he used to do stuff. But Easy to me just has a balance, but we see Easy this season also lose a lot of control. Like it's this whole thing where you have a situation with his girlfriend, and you have these younger guys. Basically, I would say I don't know if they were teenagers. They look a lot older than teenagers, but the way she explained, like they were kids, I'm like, nah, they look older than that. But you had a situation where they're basically taunting her. You know how the whole thing with Mexican, this and that and the third. And he basically just loses his shit and beat the shit out of both of these dudes. And it comes to a point where she's trying to get him off of her and he accidentally elbows her. So Easy is basically, in this season, trying to find out the balance between being in the club and being with this woman. And not only that, but trying to fight his inner demons so he can have some type of peace with this one, because he don't even know how to let certain things go and things he's been through. So he's fighting a lot of demons and a lot of things this season. But one thing about it is he still has that brain, and he does a lot of strategizing this season, helping the club out. But in some ways, also, the club is just in so much turmoil this season, man. You have so much going on, and I got to be honest, man. Like I said, I enjoyed this season. I maybe have to go back and watch it again, but like I said, it's so much going on. I haven't even got the Coco yet, man. You know what I'm saying? But there's so much going on with Bishop and being the leader of the club, and there's so much going on with inter-turmoil within the Mayans, because it's different factions of the Mayans, the same way it was with the Suns, and it's a lot going on, a lot of mistrust, a lot of betrayal, and it's the same thing that goes on in any type of gang. But it's a big head on. It basically has the gangs going up against each other to the point where you seem like it's like all the Mayans are ganging up against this one Mayans club, which is Bishop's club. And man, you get to this situation where Angel, and like I said, I haven't got the Angel because I got so much going on east. You have Angel, who's dealing with Adelita. I haven't got the Adelita. Like, it's so many characters in this shit, man, but it's good. But you had a situation with Angel, who basically had that let Adelita go because she basically told him, like, yo, I got to do this, blah, blah, blah. When they was trying to rescue her in the last season, like I said, it's been a minute. But when they did the whole breakout thing, like breaking her out of the from the police or the army dudes or whatnot. But you got her basically being tortured or whatnot, and they're both under the impression that their child is dead because of Porter. Like I said, the dude is an asshole. Porter is an asshole, man. But you had a situation where she has been tortured, and one way things come to another where she ends up being able to escape, and she goes back to, I guess, the people she was leading at some point. Those people that was out in the desert with her when she was sending all them messages out to the cartels or whatnot. But basically, like, this group is just out of control. Like, there's no leadership. There's nothing. Like, and one of the girls, one of the main girls that was with her, with Adelita throughout, she just went out on her own. She's like in some type of junkyard with other kids. Like, this shit is crazy, man. And you have Adelita going out basically trying to find this girl. But before that, you have, like I said, Angel, who's dealing with this whole situation with losing Adelita and his not knowing what's going on with his child. So he's just taking everything, and he's just been messing with this girl who works at the club, who basically works for the club. You know what they call them, like crows. Well, Sons called them crows, so I don't know what the Mayans call them. I forgot, but her name is Nails, and she's basically been dealing with Angel for the time being while he's going through what he's going through. And he's basically just doing what he's doing because he doesn't know what else to do, and he don't want to be just sitting around depressed because of the whole situation with Adelita and his child. So you have that whole situation going on, man. And like I said, you have all this going on with the club, but it all comes back to what's going on. And as far as Emily go, Miguel's wife, it's like, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. That shit was kind of boring, bro. I wasn't paying attention to this shit. I forgot what she did last season. She had Easy kill some dude last season, and she was trying to do all this other shit. Like, I'm telling you, bro, it's so much more that's going on. There's so much better shit that's going on. That Emily doesn't get important until like the last couple episodes where you got Miguel trying to figure out what was going on with his, well, not figuring out what was going on with his mama, but get some new information. And now he's basically on a mission to take out Emily and Easy now because he think they had something to do with his mama being dead, dying. And then you have Ramirez. We all know Ramirez, man. That's the OG of OGs. He been on with the Suns. Like, this dude is still alive. Like, Jax is gone. You got Clay gone. But, you know, Ramirez has been right there through the whole shit. So the shit's like he been in this since the first season of Suns. So coming into this season, like, dude has just had a whole different transformation. Like, he's with a woman, and I think she has a child. Like, he's basically in this whole thing now of trying to face his own demons. Excuse me, like I said, if I'm sniffling or whatnot, like I said, I have a little head cold, man. But anyway, you have Ramirez in this position where he's trying to deal with everything he's done because he's met somebody who's took him out of that kind of darkness. You know how I go where you had this guy who's been the baddest of the baddest. He's killed all these people. He's done all these bad things. But you meet that one woman, that girl that makes you change your ways. But he's basically going through that situation. I feel like he has this whole little family situation. And you have everything that goes on into a point where Miguel now is wanting Ramirez to basically kill Easy. And because he thinks, like I said, Miguel thinks Easy and Emily has something to do with his mama dying, and it comes to a point where I'm going all place a little bit, and I'm sorry, bear with me. This is spoilers, like I said, man. It's just a lot. It was so much that went on with this season because of it being so long from the season returning from being on a break or not on a break, but because of the coronavirus. But like I said, you have Miguel basically on a mission to take out Emily and Easy because he thinks they had something to do with his mama dying. And he can't even go through with killing Emily because you had this whole situation where he comes in and they basically in a situation where he starts just kissing all over and having sex with her to the point where he starts strangling, in certain situations, certain things, a girl likes to be choked out a little bit, you with that freeze. I'm just playing, but for real though, as far as the show goes, he starts choking her and shit. And she thinks she turned on by this shit. She thinks, oh my God, that was fucking awesome. Like, she all into this shit and not knowing that he was really trying to kill your ass. But then he ends up trying to do this plot again as far as killing Emily to the point where he gets her medicine and puts it in some wine and try to drown her, but he can't do it. He just cannot go through with it to the point where he pushes her head under the water, goes in the room, comes back, takes her out of the because she's in a tub or whatnot, tub of roses, and he had pushed her head on there because she's done fell asleep or whatnot off the pills that he mushed up and put in her wine. But he runs in there, takes her out of the tub or whatnot, and basically revives her back to life because he just cannot go through it killing Emily. But you have that whole situation going on, and back to Angel, you have a situation going on with him and the girl he's been messing with, which is called Nails. And it comes to find out Nails ends up getting pregnant by him. Before that situation even happens, where he gets the information, Adelita ends up coming back to Angel. She's in her whole prison uniform, and he sees everything she's been through and she tells him that the baby is dead. So he pretty much is going through that whole situation of finding out, like, oh shit, the baby is dead. But come to find out, and we in this season finale, we get Porter. Porter is back, and I was like, oh shit. We come to find out that the baby is not dead. But before I even get to that, I have to trace back to Adelita. Like I said, there's so much that went on this season. Bear with me. This is spoilers, man. if you were a fan of this and you have been keeping up with this, you know where I'm going and you know what I'm talking about. But you have a situation where Adelita pretty much cannot stay with Angel. She still is that person that was on that mission, and she still has a mission to complete. So she pretty much leaves Angel. She leaves behind her orange uniform that she was in jail with, and she cuts all her hair out. She's not bald, but she pretty much has her brush cut. And her and the little girl pretty much go back to the camp when she first escaped, where she went to, and she pretty much kills a dude that was in second charge of when she was in the camp, when they was going after the cartel and whatnot, because he's pretty much let everything go out of control to the point where you have girls walking up to her that are pregnant now. So you could see what this situation has been since she hasn't been around, and she pretty much comes to the full fold and takes back over and sets out on a mission to right the wrongs that she has had to deal with and get the people who she feels like are responsible for the death of her son. Like I said, little do she know her son is not dead. He's alive, so that we think, because that's what Porter says. Because you have this situation where she ends up killing a official, and you had a situation where Miguel ends up getting a call from Porter, and Porter pretty much telling him, getting the news that this official has been dead, and telling Miguel, like, yo, it's a whole warrant out for you. Like, we are seizing your properties, everything. And, like, this nigga Porter. Like, so you got Miguel he basically telling Miguel, so, because he wants him to run. Like, what is going on? And then you got a situation where Miguel's pretty much on the run, man. So, it's just so much that went on with this season and the development of the characters. I just feel like we didn't get as far as these characters being together, it was almost like separate stories, so many different separate stories going on. And I kept up with the stories, but it was to me a lot going on, and it wasn't connected together. To me, a lot of things were separate, but I feel like we're not even going to get too much of a confirmation of Easy, Angel, and Miguel find out they brothers, and this whole thing with his daddy. And the situation with Easy and this girl, I feel like I was into it, but it was like, it did really got better later on in the season. But overall, this season in particular, really separated itself from Sons of Anarchy. This season, I think, wasn't this season predominantly shot in Mexico? Because it definitely looked like this entire season took place in Mexico. And credit to the creators, and of course, if you don't know the news, Kurt Sutter had nothing to do pretty much with this season. I think he still get credits for being executive producer and whatnot, and being co-creator of the show. But last season or whatnot, it was some things going on whatnot, but he wasn't on this. I know he wasn't pretty much an influencer with this season, but it was still good. I was afraid of it because I'm a fan of what he done. I wasn't a fan of what he did with the last season of Sons of Anarchy. I feel like he could have done a lot better with ending Jack's story. But either way, this season, not only this season, but this whole Mayan series from season 1 to 3, to me, has really separated itself from being any type of rehash of what Sons of Anarchy did, and that's why I really enjoyed it. And I'm really, really a fan of what Easy's going through, and the whole thing with his daddy. And it's so heartbreaking. I'm telling you, man, it's such a stab in the heart seeing that he has to pretty much isolate himself from people, or isolate himself from feelings of love because of the things not only he's done, but what's inside of him, what he's capable of. And that's what basically his daddy was warning his girlfriend about, because you seen the situation where he ended up accidentally hitting her, and it's crazy. But it's just a situation where he has to come to the terms with him being a Mayan all day, every day. So I just wanted to get my opinion on this. I am a huge fan of this, and I will be trying to do episode review for next season like I did with Snowfall. So shout out to FX, man. Y'all are coming with the series, man. This reminds me of when they used to have like Nip Tuck, The Shield, and even Sons of Anarchy. Like, this is them good days of them good shows. So I am a fan of this, and I just want to know where they're going to go, because this shit left on a huge cliffhanger. Shout out to that, man. I didn't like kind of how it was ending, but man, I'm like, how are they gonna get out of this situation? How are they gonna get out of this situation? Another gripe I have, I did not like what they did with Coco this season. You talking about a guy coming out the military that was they sniper rifle, like the dude was a badass on some John Wick shit almost. But I don't understand them doing what they did with him. when they left out for the last season, he had the whole thing where he had damn near went blind because the shit that went down. But having him being such a drug addict, it just completely separate himself from the character he's being. I just not like that, man. I did not like that, but maybe it works with the show. Maybe people actually enjoyed it. So y'all let me know that y'all enjoyed it. But this was my review of Mayans Season 3. Shout out to all my subscribers and shout out to everybody viewing my videos, man. Excuse me, like I said, if y'all hear me sniffing a little bit, I'm under the weather. Like I said, I'm sitting here pretty much breathing through my mouth, man. But anyway, man, shout out to everybody that's checking me out, and shout out to all my new subscribers, man. This is the road to 200 subscribers, man. Let me know in the comment section, man, how did y'all feel about Mayans Season 3? Are y'all a fan of the Mayans series? Are y'all a fan of the Sons of Anarchy series? Is this a better series than Sons of Anarchy, or are they both pretty much, do you feel like they're pretty much the same? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. This is the road to 200 subscribers, man. Yeah.
This isn't gonna end well for your brother.
I ain't your brother.
One wrong move could start a war.
Well, you should be more careful these days.